Welcome along to another episode of the Make Life Work podcast, the home edition, with me, Cy Jobling. This series, I'm talking to people from around the tech scene about how they're coping through the COVID-19 lockdown and trying to find a balance with any work, personal demands, and any side projects. This week, I've invited back Dom Hodgson for a brief chat on how he's doing. Dom has always impressed me with his can-do attitude, endless side projects, fitness challenges, and even keeping his family and himself happy and engaged. Dom joined me for the first ever episode of Make Life Work back last year, so I thought it'd be a great chance to catch up, see how he's been doing through lockdown and what he's been getting up to. Let's do it. How you doing, Dom?
I'm doing very well, mate. What about yourself?
I'm doing okay, all things considered.
It's a sunny day and I'm stuck in my bedroom recording with you. What more could I want?
Well, I don't know what could be better than that, quite frankly. I'm in my dining room looking at you when it's beautifully sunshine outside. But no, it's good to see you. Great to have you back. And
yeah, it's been
I
a
thought
while.
it'd be good to catch up.
You've done a fair few episodes since we did our first chat, almost a year ago, I think, wasn't it?
I don't think it's quite a year. I think it's about October time when we did the
Yeah,
first
I mean, we're talking coronavirus here, so it feels like April's been a year.
April's been more than a year. I think everyone is struggling through it. How are you coping with it all, though?
Yeah, it's really hard to sort of personally moan about it on Twitter and social media because, to be honest, we're actually doing okay. My wife and I, we own our own company, so we're not furloughed. We can work at home, and we have done before for quite a while. It is a little bit difficult with having Scarlett here, and I'm really trying not to just stick her in front of Netflix all day. So we're trying to educate and entertain and distract her, and so Heather and I are taking it in shifts. So she'll do an hour, I'll do an hour upstairs, and then I'll take a Scarlett for a walk, things like that. It's really hard. There's a lot of 2 a.m. nights because if we want to have a conversation about work stuff or want to work on something together, we can only do that after 8, 9 o'clock when she's in bed and
Right.
asleep, and then we've got to do a bit of cleaning up. So there's a lot of late nights, but again, we're in so much better position than many other people. So I sort of feel that I can't complain. If we hadn't have like last time we spoke, we were talking about how we were going to Shanghai and we were going to Hong Kong and Tokyo, and I was really excited about that. Obviously, we couldn't have picked a worse time and a worse location for a holiday. So if we hadn't have had to cancel that, and the first week of lockdown, it really hit Little Warden hard. We had a lot of customers cancel, and it really wasn't a good time. If that hadn't have happened, actually for us, lockdown has been, I wouldn't say a good thing, but we've had a lot more family time together. We've done a lot more stuff. We've been in this house 6 years, and we finally unpacked the last box.
We
So I can finally say we've moved in, and little things like that. We've actually made the most of it. We've been working on our Christmas projects and things like that, and we've been doing a lot of family stuff together. But yeah, it really, as a business, it hit Little Warden hard, and things have recovered a little bit, but it really gave us pause to think and reevaluate the business.
Yeah, it's interesting that because I've been in a similar boat. I'd started my new job this year about 5 weeks before lockdown, and Chinese owned, so we already had a head start on what was expected. So when I'm on week 11, I think it is now, at home, spent more time at home than I have in the office, which is weird.
Yeah.
But we've actually been okay. We've continued working. We've not had any furlough required for the staff, which is a massive win for the company. And I don't want to brag about it, but it's just, we are in that situation where we're quite privileged. And lifestyle-wise,
100%.
I'm so much happier as well. I'm getting more time with the kids. Bit too much at times, but like you, but it's I can't fault it. It's the best time of our lives, and we keep telling the kids and reminding them we won't ever have this again. This is one of the best times we're going to have together. Unfortunately, we can't do much, but we are together.
Exactly.
And I feel like we are the privileged in that sense. People obviously suffering and dying in this situation, but silver linings, I'm coping pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same. We've just got to make the most of what we can. And I do miss leaving the house. I dropped some stuff off for Heather's parents the other day, and I went in the car and just to have a proper drive. It just felt so good.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because I like to do the supermarket run every couple of weeks with the whole family. I try to get everyone in one shop. That trolley is it's a nightmare trying to get everyone's different shops in.
So as a family pre-lockdown, we spent a lot of time at restaurants. We ate out an incredible lot because we worked from 9 to 5. Scarlett went to the childminder. We picked her up, and we wanted to use that family time together. So we go to a restaurant, and there was lots of restaurants we went to, and we knew all the team, and we go there, and then we come home and have a bit more family time before Scarlett goes to bed. Now I am spending so much time in my kitchen. I am sick of it. Whether it's cooking, cleaning, oh my god, and like the weekly big shop. I used to just pop into our Asda's just down the road. It's a 5 minute walk. I used to just pop in there, maybe sometimes twice a day. Just now I have to mentally prepare myself for going to the supermarket, and I've got to go tonight. And I'm just like, okay, I've got a list, and I'm trying to optimize it down to where it is in my aisle, so I only have to go down once. Oh,
That's good. Again, but these little habits are weird. So, I mean, going back before lockdown, I did tend to have my route in the supermarket going up and down the aisles, and I tried to do that list in that order. But then when I'm getting the extra lists on top, so for my mother, for my in-laws, for my sister as well, these lists don't coordinate anymore. So
yeah.
I'll end up going down to the final aisle going, oh crap, they wanted something over there, didn't they? And luckily, Aldi aren't as enforced with the one-way system, so I can just, there are other supermarkets that are available. But yeah, I'm an Aldi fan. I love it, and I think I like you. I used to just pop to the co-op once or twice a day, maybe most nights, to be honest, after work.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing it once a week just to reduce that, you know, impact on them more than anything. I'm okay. I can cope. It's just
Yeah.
the locals really. So talking to locals, actually, how are you finding it with your local community and neighbours and stuff? Because you're quite a good community environment, aren't you, where you live?
I don't really speak to many of the neighbours. We don't live in like the best area. Um, like
Right.
the neighbour across the road, we talk and we have a chat and stuff like that. And then I have seen more of my neighbours on the Thursday night clap than anything else. But there just tends to be. I've joined the local Facebook group, and my God, if you have not joined your local Facebook group for your local area, it is incredible.
I want to rename it
Um,
Pitchforks because some of the comments that come out. It's just, it's like, did you see this guy driving like a lunatic? Well, most days, yeah. What are you going to do about it?
it just seems like it, it's just become apparent that already there's lines at the moment with like the people who believe it's a hoax and the people who believe it's real, and like the people who refuse to wear a mask and things like that. Like my wife's made me and my daughter matching masks so that we can go out together so that she feels comfortable.
Good.
And it's just um, community wise, I wouldn't say it's changed it that much other than we spent a lot more time at home and people have seen me putting Christmas lights up in May, so they've asked a few questions.
That's great. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've seen you do your Christmas light thing. We can talk a lot about your side projects, but isn't it a bit early?
Do you know what? It's actually quite light, like because it's not. You've got to build each individual bit. I mean, I've started posting on Instagram just the amount of work that it is. So this will have like 2,500 lights in, and they've all got to be individually programmed and synchronized to music. You've got to build all the props that attach them to the house. And if I started this in October, like, and each prop is probably 10 hours work building it and then
Wow.
soldering it, and then you've also got to do the show towards it, so that each light has got to be timed to the millisecond with the song. So you can spend 2-3 months building your house and getting it ready, and then you've got to actually design the show. And we want to do 6 songs, so I've got to do 6 songs. So we're doing "Happily Ever After," which is the final song in the Magic Kingdom at Disney's theme fireworks.
Yep.
And I've been actually doing. We've got they're called singing voices, so they actually move the words to the music. But I've listened to it probably 300 times at zero point 0.5 speed because you've got to get each individual vowel and word right and timed. So it's not a short thing, and you've got to have a certain personality to get into this hobby.
Yeah, I don't think I could cope with listening to that song 500 times at all. I know you're a massive Disney guy, but I'm like, I like it. I'm not that much.
And that's fine. You know what? I don't take offense.
No,
People sometimes say that to rile me up. I'm like, everybody has their own opinions.
there are limits. You probably hate the amount of disco I'd play to you if you're around me, to be honest.
It's country music or bust, mate, in my house. That's how it is.
Excellent. You mentioned earlier about your plans to travel to Asia as well. So
Yeah.
what's going on there? Obviously we can't go now. What are you trying to do to make that work and have something to look forward to?
At the moment, we are we are avoiding talking about the subject because it's a little bit upsetting.
Sorry.
We managed to get almost all the money back, so that's a good thing. And it's sort of like siloed away in an account ready for.
Mm.
Ideally, in an ideal world, I could book the same dates for next year. But obviously, we planned it this year because Scarlett's not at school. She was at nursery. We wouldn't have to miss any. She would have to miss some reception. But again, it all depends on whether we can fly there next year and how it is. I I would like to say that this time next year that we can go, but nobody knows.
We don't know, do we?
No, I picked a bad year to do a lot of Disney trips this year because we've got 3 runs planned at Disney World, and we've got the Disneyland Paris. It's the 50th year of their half marathon, and I can't see that happening at the moment. And loads of runs are going to be cancelled. You know, the Great North Run, they haven't announced it yet, but there's no way. They had 60,000 people in Newcastle that starting a race together. There's no way you can socially distance that.
Nope.
So a lot of plans are going to change. But again, these plans for me, I can't really moan about it on Twitter. Oh, because there's people going, I'm having to go to a food bank. I'm having to, I'm not having a job.
Perspective.
There was a
Yeah.
stat that came out the other day, which is like 30% of the workforce is unemployed. They just don't know it yet because when the furlough ends,
Yeah.
a lot of companies are going to have to cut back.
Yep.
So we've just got to make the most of what we can and try not to complain too much.
No.
But on this podcast, it's just me and you. Nobody's watching, apart from the thousands of people that download this.
Thousands maybe pushing it, but no, we're getting a few numbers. It's good. You were saying, yeah, we can't make any plans. There's not much you can do, but making the best case scenario. So, I mean, before the show, you were talking about the musicals as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into that area a bit more as well?
Yeah, my new T-shirt came today, which says "The Show Must Go On," which is a collaboration of the West End musicals I put together for a bit of a fundraiser.
Quite apt at the moment as well.
Yeah. Not only am I a big Disney guy, sort of like we love going to a show. We had about 9 shows booked over the next few months, including like Lion King. We were taking Scarlett to see her first proper West End style show. My wife and I like to do a bit of a weekend just us, where we call it. Well, it's been called a full hodge, which is basically you get the train down on Friday morning. Friday afternoon you see a show. Saturday morning Saturday you do a matinee and then an evening show. Sunday you do a matinee and then you get the train home.
Wow.
And we try and do that every year, every other year. The last time I managed to do it, I managed to get Hamilton on the Saturday, and then Aladdin, and then both Cursed Childs on the Sunday. And so that took a lot of planning.
I'll bet.
But yeah, this was in the middle of coronavirus, and I will say for anybody listening, when everything's over, Come From Away is one of the best shows on the West End out there at the moment. It's the best thing since Hamilton, and you all need to go and see it.
Okay.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, I do need to book some in. It's been a while since I've been to a musical, to be honest. And we keep talking about them. Hamilton is another one. I think they're doing like a live stream of it soon or something, aren't they?
So this is getting my Disney geek hat on. So they paid something like 75 million for a copy of. So they film all the Broadway shows.
Yeah.
But they're never really released because they make a lot of money on licensing the tours and the student things. So not all the original cast, but some of the original cast were filmed doing a Broadway version, and Disney bought the rights to that for a lot of money.
I'll bet.
And the idea is that Hamilton was going to end its original Broadway run next year in July. Then the show that was filmed was going to go into theaters, so IMAX, everything like that, special big theaters for a theater release, and then it was going to go on Disney Plus. But that wasn't until next October, November.
Right.
And Disney are scrambling for content so much that they are foregoing the theater release, foregoing everything like that, and actually bringing it to Disney Plus July the 4th this year.
Wow.
And it's absolutely crazy just the amount of money that they spent on that, and are forgo like a theater release of that would bring you millions.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely millions. And they've paid so much money. And people think it's for the film version. The film rights are a completely different negotiation. This is literally just for a copy of the film, and I can't wait to see it. I'm not, there are theatre bootlegs out there of disturbing quality. I'm not saying I watch them, but if I had the opportunity to watch Hamilton on Disney Plus, I would do that quite a lot. Such a good show.
I've heard many good things about it. My other friends have said the same. They're massive musical fans as well. I like the date of that because that's just before my birthday, so that might be one of the things we do on that weekend.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's Scarlett knows all the words, including the sweary ones, but she doesn't understand the sweary ones at the moment. You know, she's the amount of Broadway and West End shows that she knows the soundtracks of that she's never seen
oh, bless.
is funny.
I love that. It's brilliant. You mentioned earlier about the runs as well. So I know you've got a
Yes.
few things coming up. Do you want to tell us about what is happening with your health and fitness side of things?
So health and fitness side of things, not very well at all at the moment. I was doing all right. I tried to lose some weight over Christmas, and I was doing quite well. Um, and then I was actually doing really well until lockdown, and then I just sort of gave it all up. And I was like, right, I just need to focus on being happy.
Yeah.
And what makes me happy is chocolate and cake. So that's been helping a lot.
Yep.
But this will be my fifth year running for Martin House. We spoke about this last time
Yep.
a little bit. I do fundraising for Martin House. So last year we raised about 20 grand, which was absolutely brilliant. And in total, we've raised over 40. So this year was going to be my last year of doing running, not fundraising as a whole, but I hate running. I don't enjoy it at all. So, and because personally, I think that if you do something for money and you do the same thing, you've got to do it a bit further. So the first year we started off doing 2 half marathons, then we did 6, and then we did 9. And I just thought, you know what? Like it gets to a point where at some point I'm going to have to do an ultra marathon if I keep this going, and I really don't want to do that because you can't do it in costume,
Yep.
not easily. So I was like, right, okay, this will be the last year, and we're going to go out with a bang. And actually, on the side Slack channel, which you should all be in right now,
We should be.
we were discussing earlier on in January my plan for this year, which was of course to do 20 half marathons in 2020, and we got a program available. We downloaded the poster. We got that up in the gym because I was going to do it in the middle of a gym, in the middle of a Friday, while everybody else was doing their normal workouts. And I spoke to the manager, I spoke to the gym team, and they loved it. And we did 2 of them, each 2 weeks apart, just test runs. And we didn't film any of it. But absolutely everybody loved it. It was so funny, and like just people's reactions as they just walked into the gym and they saw a guy in a parrot costume doing a half. And we raised a bit of money like that. And then obviously they closed the gyms, so we couldn't do that. And I would say, wallowing in a bit of self pity that I had this big idea for quite a while. And then I just suddenly thought, you know what? And it was talking to the team at Martin House and realizing that, like they're about to, if this goes on for 3 months, they'll lose 1.7 million.
Oh no.
Which is a phenomenal amount.
That's a huge amount.
And it's not like charities that can just, okay, we won't do that project anymore. We won't do that. We'll cut back this. This is a place that's open 24 hours a day. It has staff, it has nurses, it has doctors, it has helplines. They go out to people's houses and they do so much care, they can't just turn it off. And I just thought, okay, I need to actually do something. So one of the things that we had booked and we hadn't changed, providing it happens, is we were going to do the Dopey this year in January, which is something for years I'd said I'd never do because it was a stupid concept. But it just seemed like a nice fitting end.
Yeah.
So the Dopey, for those that don't know, is a 5K run on the Thursday, a 10K run on the Friday, a half marathon on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday morning you get up at 3 a.m. and then do a full marathon. All in Florida heat as well.
In Florida heat as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was the plan for this year. What we're going to do.
Yeah.
And partly the 20 half marathons was to train my body into actually being able to do that. And I can do that because when I did my first Great North Run like 5 years ago, I actually I got back to the hotel room about midday and I ordered Deliveroo to my room, literally to the room. I put the room number on there and then I didn't move from the room at all. And actually, if I go to Deliveroo, it's the last address that I use on there. It's the Stable Suites in Newcastle. And now, when we do the Disney races, I go back to the room after a half marathon, I have a shower, and then my granddad comes with us and he's in his wheelchair, and I push him around the park for the rest of the day.
Blimey.
So I know that my body can be used to doing the half marathons and do that, but can it get used to actually waking up on the Sunday morning after doing a 5, a 10 and a half and going, okay, you need to do everything you've done over the last 3 days and then some more.
And a bit more, yeah. Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Sucker for punishment, are you?
I just I just think it's funny.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Like
Yeah,
I found if there's one thing that causes people to raise money, for me, it's seeing me in pain and agony and upset.
I'll pay for that.
And the runs definitely do that. We raised when I launched the campaign, we raised £1,000 on the first day, and
Amazing.
the target this year is 3,000 because partly because nobody's got any money because of coronavirus and everything like that, and I'm not pushing for donations. I'm pushing for awareness of the charity, people to give some time, people to share it and like it. Money's great, but also Captain Tom took a load of money from all the other fundraisers with his 30 million. So I mean, fair play to the bloke,
Absolute legend.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But there goes my knighthood.
we never know. One day in the future, Dom Hodgson, Sir Dom. I can't wait to see that. But honestly, mate, you should be really proud of yourself. I mean, committing to that is quite an achievement in itself.
Yeah, let's not go too far. Let's not be proud of myself for committing to it. I commit myself to not eat chocolate quite often, and I break that. Let's come back in a few months when we've done. So when this goes out, I'll have done my first run. So
Yep.
every Friday morning we're live streaming on as many platforms as I can to a half marathon. I'll probably start about 6 o'clock, and and each one will be in a unique costume. And I've got my iPad. I've actually I'll post some pictures later on of my setup, my streaming setup, because I've actually bought a case for the iPad, which is a plastic one, and I velcroed it to the treadmill so that I
Amazing.
can do the chats during the things, and I've got a microphone, and we're just gonna have some fun with it. So we're gonna.
Are you typing then while you're running, or are you
I'm
verbally?
verbally, so I'm gonna read that. But
Okay.
the way that I'm going to run will be it's called the Galloway method, which is you do 1 minute running, 1 minute walking, 2 minutes running, 2 minutes walking, 1 minute running, 1 minute walking. And I'm going to attempt that for the first 20 minutes, and then I'm probably just going to walk it the rest of the way. But I've
Nice.
also built a system. Do you watch a lot of speed runs at all on YouTube? Have you ever seen them?
No.
So
No.
do you know the concept of a speed run?
No. You have to explain that to me.
So the idea of a speed run is you try and complete the game as fast as possible, and you use either glitches or you try and for instance, you can complete Mario 64. The new record now is just under 15 minutes. They
Okay.
broke the 15-minute barrier where you can complete the entirety of Mario 64 in 15 minutes. But they use loads of software to time each individual sections, so they know, like, I should be at this point, I should be at this point, I should be at this point. And what I've done is I've downloaded all the software and I've set it up so that I've got all the K back markers. So the first time that I do it, I hit a button and it says, okay, you did 1K in this time, 1K in that time, and you go through. And then the next time it will tell you whether you're ahead of pace, below pace, so I can try and beat myself mentally each time.
Fantastic. You're getting all the kit in there, mate.
Well, a lot of it I already had. So I built a couple of game show buzzers a couple of years ago for some game shows that I was running, and I've just velcroed one of them to the side of the treadmill, and I can just hit that. It sends a keyboard command to the laptop, and then it runs it. It's fairly simple software, but I think it has an effect of sort of gamifying it for the audience. And then after a few times, I think we're going to try and do stuff where they can donate to pick the costume, they can donate to pick the speed for a little bit. We're going to
Mm.
try and have a bit of fun with. If anybody watches, I'm not bothered if nobody watches. I'm happy just to listen to my music and just to walk and cry on my own.
How long do you reckon it will take then? So you're starting at 6 a.m. and it will go through to what, about 9, 10 o'clock or something like that, or is that a bit more?
Yeah, I figure with the costume and the fact that I pretty much haven't done any running at all this year, it will take me about between 3.5 and 4 hours for the first
Hmm.
one, and then my aim is to get that to 2 hours 45 by the end of it.
Oh, nice. So you got to set yourself a
That
goal, which is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a half marathon. I want to say 15 years ago, and I did that in 2 hours 45. So I'd like to get back to that pace. That's all I want. And then, if I can do the full marathon in under 6 hours, I'll be happy.
That's awesome.
Especially with the costume ideas.
Well, you're ticking a lot of boxes there. You've got health in your belt there. You've got a goal. You've got side projects with all the fun making side of it as well. You're ticking all the boxes, mate. You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make. I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm trying to see what I can do to be productive. One of the things I do on Twitter every day is just try and highlight some of the good stuff that's come out of it. So I've started a thing on Twitter called Lockdown Good News, and every day at 10 o'clock when I remember, I post what good things happened during lockdown for you over the last 24 hours, and we get people talking about the baking, talking about their projects, just saying I've had a relaxing day, I've had a good conversation, I've met somebody, met some friends, and it just reminds you that there are good things that are happening in this time where everybody's just like, oh God, it's never going to end.
Yeah, I mean, again, hats tip to you for just trying to be positive through all this. It's difficult, and I know a lot of people are struggling. You know, I'm doing this because I just feel like there's a chance to try and bring some joy to people when it's very difficult times, right? But we will get through it. It is what it is. Unfortunately, people are suffering, but can't always focus on the negative. That's why I've turned the news off, quite frankly. I don't do the news anymore. It just brings so much
Yeah,
negativity to the house. I don't need to know how many people have died again. I know it's happening, and when it's not happening, then it's news to me.
yeah. I've been focusing more on watching stuff. I've completed Netflix.
Completed.
Yeah, took a while completing it, mate. To the point where the other day I watched the documentary on, I think it was Sunderland FC,
Oh, that
and I've
one.
never been to a football match in my life. But by the end of it, I was like, "Go on, get promotion, go on." I won't spoil it, but
No, don't spoil it for anyone. I said to my son the other day, have you completed YouTube yet in lockdown? 'Cause
yeah.
you got the opportunity, really. Do you watch much beyond, you know, what you said Netflix and Disney Plus? Is there anything else that you kind of do for joy outside of all these fun projects?
Well, we watch so much YouTube, and actually, it's funny because we watch a lot of Disney YouTube, and with with having to cancel the holiday, I sort of disconnected from Disney a little bit. So I stopped reading the Disney news. I stopped listening to the Disney podcast. I stopped looking at the YouTube, and I just realized how much of my day is consumed by looking at Disney stuff. And I was like, oh, I've got lots of time now. But we spend a lot of time on YouTube. My daughter loves Bon Appetit. She loves watching the baking videos and Babish and all that, and so that's why we do a lot of baking now. I watched a video the other day on making donuts using yogurt and self-raising flour.
Nice.
So when we finish this, that's what we're going to do this afternoon. I'll post a picture of them on Instagram. But you can make little donut balls by just mixing them together and just putting them in hot thing. It could be one of them fake internet things that you see, where it doesn't actually work at all. But you know what? We've got some flour, thank God, and we've got some yogurt. So let's give it a go.
I love that. I might try that myself at the weekend with the little one. We've got bank holiday coming up, so why not?
Well, I mean, for some of us, bank holidays mean nothing, but for you, it actually does.
Yeah, I'm clocking off for 3 days, so I can't really complain. Um, but yeah, I think, to be honest, we've covered pretty much everything. Is there anything else you want to bring up on the conversation, or to wrap up?
No, just a little plug for your stuff. Like the Slack channel has been incredible this sort of time. It's a really good community that's come together, and I do recommend that anybody that makes it this far into the episode checks it out. What's the URL you've got now?
On the side.network.
On the side.network. So there you go. Come and talk to us. We're always there, and there's people always giving like advice, and just give yourself a little bit of time to say, hey, I've done this, I've achieved this. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a nice little environment, not a nice community where there's probably about 5 or 6 of us that are regular and just chatting all day, every day, asking for help and advice on their little projects, well-being as well. So it was intended for side projects, but it's just kind of grown in scope a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that as well. It certainly
Yeah.
brings some joy to me every day that I can check in with you all and see what you're up to.
And if I could just give one plug for the Rundown.run, if you could watch the video, because genuinely, like I've been doing YouTube for about 8, 9 months now,
Yeah.
and like that is the video I'm most proud of. Just both script wise and editing wise, I'm just so pleased with it. And just like it's only got like 1,000 views on Twitter, and I just think it needs more. So if you could watch that and just make me feel a little bit better, I'm so pleased with it.
You should be. I mean, remember when you teased it to me, and I was like, "Your
Yeah.
daughter is the star of the show. She's wonderful," and it just adds that extra
Uh,
level of comedy to it all as well.
Well, in a few weeks, I'm going to post an outtakes video because you'll realise that why that took an hour to record with Scarlett.
Standard. But no, good
Yeah,
job. And yeah, we'll definitely get the links out for Rundown.run out there.
yeah,
As you say, any donations welcome, but awareness is the main driver for you, by the sound of it.
absolutely. Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's good to catch up, and hopefully we can do this again in a few months, and we'll all be in a completely different position.
Hopefully, we can do it in real life at one point as well. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Oh, I know. Give it 6 months when we get beyond all this craziness.
And wait for the restraining order to expire, and then we'll be fine.
Right, thanks for coming along, Dom. Good to catch up.
No problem.
And we'll do it again soon. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks to everyone for listening, and especially Dom for joining me for this episode of the Make Life Work podcast. As Dom mentioned, you really should pop along to his fundraising website, rundom.run. As a fellow side project fan, you can also find Dom in our On The Side community. That's available at ontheside.network and takes you straight into Slack. All the podcast details and previous episodes are available on my website, sidejobling.com/makelifework, or you can find Make Life Work Pod on most of the socials. Don't forget, we're on all the popular podcast apps, so make sure you subscribe, leave us a rating and review, and let us know what you think of it all. That's enough from me, so I will join you next time when I'll be talking to someone else from around tech about how they're coping through the COVID-19 lockdown on the Make Life Work podcast.